Hello and welcome to another episode all about applying to uni for the first time after results day. We'll start with why you went through clearing, what your situation was, just kind of how it went for you.
Okay, yeah. I'd finished college and I'd actually planned, I didn't really know what I was doing, but I knew that what I'd left from, I didn't want to do. So I was get a normal job. I followed my mum's footsteps and summer finished, was coming to the end and I actually thought, no, I can't do that. So I decided to inquire just out of interest because I'm interested in like forensics and things like that. And it seemed like one of the things that wouldn't be as easy to get into. But then I found out there was exact courses for it. So I inquired and I was turned down because I didn't have the correct stuff first time. Um,
So was
and
that
I actually
before
called,
clearing or
yes,
yeah?
yep, yeah. Well, I actually at this point wasn't aware there was such thing as clearing. I'd actually called to apply for the following year.
Oh, okay.
The first place said no, and I thought, oh, well, I don't want to go till next year. So I went back to college and I said, can I come back and do science? And they said, you don't have to. There are other unis that can offer you a starter course. So they said, go try Canterbury. I tried Canterbury and I said, so I want to try for next year. And they turned around and said, well, you can start next week if you want.
Oh my
And that's when I
God.
went through clearing. So yeah, I actually had no idea what was going on at the time.
It wasn't mentioned at college or anything.
They were very, very focused on your interviews and your personal statements and things like that. And that was a big thing that put me off going because I just thought I'm not special enough, really. I wouldn't stand out. They actually almost didn't want to mention it because it was
Yeah,
wanted to build you up for the proper experience.
yeah.
But yeah, no idea.
So when you were going through clearing without actually realising that you were going through clearing, how did you find the experience? Like, were people very helpful? Did they make it
So
seem easy?
it was brilliant. It was so brilliant. I mean, I had inquired at the start of the week, and then on the Thursdays when I got through, and that was including talking to college, being rejected, and everything. On the Thursday when I'd called the Canterbury, it was all done within a couple of hours. The whole process,
Yeah.
the acceptance, and there was a point where I wasn't entirely sure what I was filling out, and I called them, and immediately they took me through the whole process, and yeah, within 3 hours I was in, and I was now a student.
Yeah.
Because I didn't have the science, I did a foundation year where
Oh,
I could gain the qualification through the university. And that was what I was advised to do. It was a lot easier and it was all a part of the whole degree. So it was a lot easier than having to go back to college. So I did that, passed, and then you spent the next 3 years doing your degree.
some people are put off of doing a foundation year because it's like an extra year on top of that 3-year degree.
I heard from a load of people, and even the lecturers would say it was better in a sense to go for the foundation year because you get a feel for university life and you get a feel for the experience and the work you're expected to do without being thrown straight into your course. And they did say that a lot of people that have done foundation tend to do slightly better only because they've spent a lot more time in the university.
Yeah.
But then again, I suppose if you've not like me who didn't know what I wanted to do, so it was useful for me to have the foundation to start.
If there's someone out there who doesn't know what they want to do, is there any advice that you would give them, such as just there's something that you're interested in, so just research it, and that's when you found out there was a course for it, sort of thing?
I think at the end of the day, if you want to do something, there's a way to do it. I mean, I never would have dreamed 4 years ago ever, and I say this to everybody, I would be in this position learning what I'm learning. I mean, I absolutely love it. I didn't think it would be sort of as easy as it was to get into. And if you want to do it, there is a way. And I was very surprised at the help that the college gave me. And it might be worth reaching back to where you've left because they might still be quite happy to advise you. And without them, I wouldn't have been here. So whatever you want to do, there's a way to do it. Just
Yeah.
I emailed, called, got there in the end.
I didn't know what I wanted to do, so I just went for something that I enjoyed and was interested in. It worked out really well. Because I mean, as long as you're doing something you enjoy, you can't really go wrong.
Definitely.
Really.
Definitely do tell a lot of people about it because people just don't realize, like, I don't think anyone could have ever realized that I could have applied on the Thursday and ended up starting on the Wednesday for my first ever day.
Yeah.
Yeah, some people don't know what they want to do. I mean, I think a lot of people don't know what they want to do. So I think it's nice to know that you can do it that last minute and just go for it. was lucky because I didn't have to write a personal statement, which I will admit I was quite happy about, because that's quite nerve-wracking.
They just more than happy for you to just come onto the foundation course and then move on from there. They didn't want to know much more about you.
Well, I'm very sure that when I filled out the form, it was the standard one that everyone had, because there was actually a section in there for your personal statement. And before when they advised, I said, we're going to send you this, they did say, but don't worry about the personal statement bit, you don't need to write anything in there. But when I saw it, I thought, this can't possibly be right. They must want something from me, because otherwise I did feel like everyone would do this. So I actually called back up again straight away and said, I want to double check that I'm supposed to be doing this. And they went, no, you're going through clearing. So I had to write nothing. If anything, I'm pretty sure I just had to get a couple of references from people. The foundation, you might not need it.
Yeah, that's true. If you applied kind of at the normal time, like when people were doing their personal statements and things, it does make it seem like the process to get into university is very difficult and very long-winded.
100%. Like, I never dreamed it was going to happen by the way it was sort of described to me. No, you're so right.
Yeah. How did you decide on the uni that you went to? Did you literally did your college advise you to like maybe look on the UCAS website and see what unis offered your ideal course through clearing, or did you think about, you know, the location and the amount you'd be happy to travel?
Well, I'm pretty sure from what I can remember, they did advise me to go onto the website, but I think they also said, here's a couple of examples. So the first one was Canterbury. I called them up and I applied, and then actually, I would admit, should have probably looked into it a bit more, but they'd come back, and when I signed into the website to take a look at all my stuff for the first time, it said Canterbury Christchurch University, Canterbury. And I thought, well, no, that's not me. I'm supposed to be in Chatham. I had absolutely no idea. So I called up and said, I think you've made a mistake. They went, we don't have science units in Chatham. I said, well, I can't go to Canterbury every day. And they went, loads of people do. So I looked at the journey and went, oh, okay, then, well, I'll give it a go. And I actually really enjoy now having the experience of being somewhere else. There was no way I was going to move. I had too much set up. But yeah, they did advise, but they did say to take a look and see if there was any other places. But when they accepted me, I thought, great, I'll have it. I had come in so quickly. I had quite bad issues with timetables at the start. And it put me in a little bit of disadvantage, because I was looking like I was not attending because timetables were wrong, and that did carry through for the second year. But I probably should have been a little bit more persistent. That was probably, I would say, the only negative thing, is that I missed the introduction week. The day I went in for my first day was the first day I ever stepped foot in that uni. I didn't even know what it looked like.
You didn't go for an open day or anything?
I'd missed it. I had to go in for the late sign up. But even so, like, people are so helpful around there, because it's obviously, the university is such a community that you can find somewhere anywhere that would help you quite gladly. So it wasn't too bad.
So I'd like to say thank you to Amy for sharing her experience, and I hope you found it useful.